How's it going?
Good. Sorry, it's a little bit technical here.
All right. Nice to see you. So, good for you.
Brilliant.
Do you want to do the introductions? I have, or will I do them? Yeah?
Yeah, Kieran will just head up to you just before, just when it's time for you.
Okay.
So I'll just name them and just say that you're from UCC. I'll just name everyone and then just say that you're from UCC Creative Writing, and then I'll just introduce you and you can come up and just read the bio.
Okay, can we lurk down the back for now? While the 5 words is going on.
I'll give this to you when you come up here.
Oh, yeah. That's fab.
How are we all getting on?
I'm a writer. I'm on the creative writing.
How's that there now? All good. Welcome everyone. Great to see you all. Great to see such a full room. Walked in, could barely even get in at 8:10 on a Monday. Could barely even get into the room. Welcome to the 694th Ovale. It's a real pleasure to have you all here. We're very excited about tonight. Very nice to have the UCC Creative Writing Program, a selection of writers from the program here. It's always a really nice evening. So it's like an annual kind of thing this time of year every year, and it's a really nice to have you down again. So we're delighted. I'm just going to make a quick announcement. Just so everybody is aware, the event is recorded. So yeah, just to be aware that it's recorded and it's available to revisit as an MP3 podcast and as a video. The video is on Ovale's website, on the social media, on the Vimeo channel, vimeo.com/Ovale. I'm just going to explain for anybody who hasn't been here previously. I'm just going to explain kind of how the night works, what the kind of structure of it is. So we're going to start now in a second with the 5-word challenge. I'll tell you the rules of that challenge now in a moment. And then after that, we're going to have a short little break, and then we're going to move on to our featured guests for the evening, which this evening are from, like I was saying a second ago, from the Creative Writing Program in UCC. And then we're going to have another little break, and then there'll be an open mic at the end. And I have the open mic list here, so I'll be sending it around the room. So if you want to sign up for the open mic, feel free to. We'd be delighted. The 5-word challenge, for anybody who hasn't heard of such a thing before, is a literature challenge. Basically a challenge where 5 words is going to be volunteered from the audience, from your good selves, and I'm going to take them down here. Everybody can take them down, and then your challenge is to write a poem or a piece of writing using those 5 words that contain those 5 words. It can be in any style or length or any form at all. But the only rule is really that you have to contain all 5 words in it. And then when you have the poem written, you'll have about 15 minutes to write the poem. When all the poems are written, basically, you'll be able to come up and share what you've written on the mic, and the one that gets the biggest reaction from the audience will be the winner, and you'll win all these lovely books. And you'll also get a drink of your choice from the bar. So stakes are pretty high. Stakes are pretty high. So would anybody like to suggest a word?
Boulevard.
Say it again?
Boulevard.
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 Boulevard is the first word.
Church.
Very good.
Ghost from Sam online.
So boulevard, church, and then ghost.
Yard.
Say it, yard.
Yeah, yard.
Very good. Okay, so 2 seconds there. So we have and pink was the last one, was it? Pink. Okay, so very good. So we have boulevard, church, ghost, yard, and pink. I have a few extra sheets of paper here if anybody needs some paper. Are there pens? Not more. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Make it easier to find the.
I can move away.
I'm actually texting some of that.
There's the kid.
No, it's very. There's a reason for that.
I told you all yours. Are you already home?
Your dad.
Very tiny.
You have about 4 more minutes there. Okay. Yeah, you maybe have like 30 seconds or so to finish off. Very good. So you're welcome to come up and read what you've been writing on the mic. And if you could just tell me your name right before you read, that'd be very helpful.
We have Jeff on right.
Right, so we're going to start online and we'll have Jeff, please.
Give me a second, I wasn't ready. Okay. On the bleak boulevard sits a quiet churchyard. See, I used to. That remains undisturbed, you would think. But round every midnight, passers-by get a fright from a ghost who shrinks. I love to wear pink. The spirit frolics and prances, performs macabre dances by the graves in the yard with a wink. And he shows off his hats and his gloves and his pants as he declares once again, I love pink. Look at my pink shoe, my pink pantaloons too. Can't get enough of this color, it's my kink. With this pink lederhose, every other ghost knows that I'm the one who always wears pink. Since he saw the Barbie movie, it's the color he finds groovy, and his quirky reputation won't shrink. So the next time you're in town, take some time to walk down to the yard with the ghost who wears pink.
That's not part of the poem. Although it would have been completely obvious. Now I'm kicking myself. This is called Pink Notebook. We were too busy to know we were ghosts. Too busy to not notice the sky stained to a pink wine. The church against it, a stalagmite silhouette. We were too busy to see this. The graveyard by the boulevard. I released your ashes. Your ghost is gone, through a threshold, and I stay, another kind. I stay, slow down, and wipe a tear and some sweat, and go back to being busy.
This is for the beer. My heart draped, pink, exhausted on the banister. They hefted it up, all 500 pounds, and walked it, pall-bearing hands, down the cobbled stone boulevard, through the green yard glinting with dew and spider eyes not yet woken. Into the arch, my heart is borne. Onto the plinth, the wooden altar, the church nave spilling myrrh. I hear them murmur, cry, as the ghost that I am lays down.
Hi there, Antonio here. So this poem is called The Church Wall. On the wall of an old church, a green valley was painted. Castles and ruins concentrated, pointing towards the sunset. There was an intense pink light, mirror of the boulevard of roses, reflected on a raindrop. Transparent was the raindrop, almost real, like a ghost. With the 2 feet, I am standing on the ground. It takes not enough rage to fill up the burning yard of my desire. Thank you.
Hello. I have some very lovely friends. The tree-crested boulevard protects peony pink rows that form the petticoats of church grounds. They lead the way from yard to door, beckoning worship from all who pass. Back when paintings told the horrors of hell, ghosts were just the beginning of what awaited sins below. Now the mighty stone structure stands empty most Sundays. Stories are only believed when a loved one passes on.
Okay. This is Sunset Delights. Near a lonely churchyard, I wander an empty boulevard. The sky all pink and aglow, each wispy cloud a ghost mid-flow. After a day so full of light, I wonder if I might take flight. There's no more left to say, except that I cannot stay in a city where cold concrete bounds steal all memory of nature's infinite sounds.
The name is Cedric. It's the flowery bunch on the yard by the church that brings along those memories, taking me on the lane of them. Makes me feel like I'm walking on cushions. My mind sits on the perch of a lamppost and observes without worry. My soul loiters down the boulevard, returns to stop by the bush and smell the fragrances of pink, fuchsia, lilac, all the shades of you. I am a ghost happily haunting this holy street, bound to this earth by the promise of our next rendezvous.
So my name is Roxanne.
Ghosts exist. They're all around us. They come back when we don't expect them. They haunt or they make us smile. Shout out to Casper that I watched recently. But would you believe in a pink ghost wrapped in the Dunes fitted sheet that I bought last month, freshly cleaned? From the churchyard, I walk along this boulevard of broken dreams. Yes, we had a deal with Michelle that I would put this challenge, like this word in the challenge tonight. Too bad she's not here. She owes me a drink. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I know this ghost. She smiles at me. This face not seen in years. She left too soon. I know this other ghost. He used to love so much. He would turn more red than the scarf that I'm not wearing tonight. I'm not gonna question your choice. I only see your despair, and I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Rest in peace.
Hi, my name is Fionn, and I call this career change. The ghost in the shell got bored, wanted to spread some wild oats, stop scaring people off on a 100-yard sprint whenever he tried to introduce himself. So he dyed his hair pink and took to imitating random animal sounds on the boulevard. A cow up a tree, a parrot down a drain, a monkey in a recycling bin, a horse in the last remaining church pew. Thank you.
My name's Joseph. This is a short poem. Okay, so there once was a church in the yard, down a lane called Tiny Boulevard. There lived a ghost, his mushroom adequate at most. It was pink and seldomly hard. Thank you.
I love the creativity in this place. Okay, yeah, here goes. There's a boulevard that sits neighbor to a church where a ghost resides, hides in the yard, wearing lime green Miami Beach water blue tights disguised as pants but are leggings, hot and baby pink loose knee-high socks, also known as leggings, from the 80s. Her hair bushed and prepped, a smile wide as a mile, ready to take on the world, life's sightseer, dizzy in a purgatory daze, a ghost unaware the world has moved on without her.
I dropped a pink ghost in the yard and emerged onto a boulevard where rows of platinum palm trees ascended to the towering steeple of a Gothic church come woolen mill, come phonin vape, come swoon, full of bright pink high as a kite bubblegum flavoured parishioners, all tickling each other with feathered boas and exchanging the stickiest knitting patterns, this side of the boulevard/yard, the only trinity for me, sugar daddy, sugar mummy, and the holy pink ghost. Woo!
No title yet. Elsewhere. Elsewhere along the boulevards of history, costumed people, young and old, at the dawn of spring, hold parades of colours, floats and flowers, songs and sweets flying. Hello, they shout, and go completely yek. As they march through town, past churches and pubs, decorated in reds and blues, yellow garlands dangle, brightest dresses mingle, flowing drink sings out, magic thumps and marches, dancers whirl in pink, marching past graveyards, rattling, yelling, drumming, hopping, driving the ghosts out of the last year and from their minds. This is happening in Germany right now.
I am Catherine Ronan. It's called Lifetime. I walk down the 5e boulevard of you, confess my weakness to your ghost in the church of our last goodbye, a yard stretched all over our lifetime. Pink turned to red. Finally I said, I love you.
How do you follow Catherine Ronan? It's like every 5-word competition, I'm like right after her. But anyway. It's true. I was a bit blue bouncing down the broad boulevard until I came upon a charred but slightly chartreuse churchyard. I was further dismayed to see decaying ghosts of gray floating between a whole herd of pink elephants who begin to sway. I chalked it down to my paranormal, absolutely pished paranoia, and those vexing visions ran away.
Poetry for Valentine's Day.
We're going to have Pam Campbell online.
Okay, this one's short. A child's pink ball ghosted the boulevard, caught by sorrow threading the churchyard. That's it.
No, I've no title. The rooks cawing non-stop overhead. How do they caw in unison? Do they have a Toscanini in their midst? I struggled uphill towards the gaping maw of the church, past ghosts of my past self floating around my head. Me in a satin communion dress, black patent shoes. Me in a lace dress, and notions of adventures floating on my confirmation day. But today, as I struggle on my spindly heels, my designer white gown with dappled pink rosebuds, why do I dream of chocolate brown eyes drinking me in our favorite boulevard? Is it too late for me to join those rooks and escape once again?
Hello, my name is Lauren. This might be an almost true story. It's called They Once Were Doves. At Holy Trinity Boulevard on a drizzle-thick day, a pigeon with one twisted, clubbed foot brushes me in an avalanche of feather. I dive to the broken cobbles, eliciting a torrent of laughter from teenagers munching mushies, loitering with calculated ennui in the churchyard. If robins are the messengers of the dead, I wonder what ghost possessed this pigeon. What missive from the underworld it felt urgent enough to deliver in my face. On my knees, cheeks hot pink with the judgment of misspent youth. A jar of light mayo, tumbled from my dropped groceries, rolls to a stop at the Virgin Mary's feet. A pigeon lands a safe arm's length away, locks one bulging brown eye on mine, and shits a biblical flood of white feces on my spilled carrots. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Roisin, and I think I've written something for James Dean here. Nearly there. Just trying to find the title. Oh yeah, that scene in the interrogation room, James Dean in East of Eden. That eccentric tick, eyes set upwards, your shoulders hunched up, itching the tips of your earlobes, the faint pink parting of your lips as you scream, "You're tearing me apart." Full throttle now, racing now, your little minx on wheels. Miles, yards from where you were destined to be. Perfect altar boy, all churched up, the ghost of Eden on the boulevard.
Do we have any more? Any takers down the back?
I'll do one.
There you go. Did you write a 5 book? Did you write a 5 book?
Oh yeah. Right, I can't take full credit for this. It was the 4 girls here who wrote it. So I was persuaded into reading it. So we've no title, but it's a fairly short one anyway. So, walking down the boulevard with the ghosts of my past, I hear the church bells in the distance ringing in my head. The frosty mist bites at my pink cheeks, walking through a yard of memories, a prison of my own design. And that's it.
Adrian. A yard of pink yarn in the boulevard ditch, like the ghost of a game of hopscotch, lingering in the turgid air of a dead and derelict church. Maybe a girl will come to reclaim it, but maybe the cemetery has already claimed her.
We'll have Mags Creedon online.
All or see me? No. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, that'll do. That's plenty. I'm not looking so hot anyway. Oh shit, you see me, my just. Lovely language, Timothy. Okay, look, this is the story of my mother. And they had a very big love story, but it was very romantic. And then it was the churching. So, sipping cortado near the Sorbonne, linden trees line the boulevard Saint Germain. Going native with black eyeliner in the Latin Quarter, in a Monet dappled pastel floral. Sweetheart neckline, crisp tulle skirt swished as she crossed her silk stockinged legs. Warm scented breeze stirred the pink cherry blossoms, just reminiscent of their film that they went to last night, Bittersweet, starring Nelson Eddy. He has such a look of him, I think, himself there. She cherished, she channeled her inner Jeanette MacDonald. Now, wet petals trampled in a wet spring, the war begun. A cold brace, a wind whipping her white ankles. It all seemed like a sepia dream, her ghost eyes of a 19-year-old dream. Brutal birthing, midwife waiting, kettle boiling in the fire of her bedroom, white flannel strips to tear, 6 weeks waiting to be deemed to bless, to cleanse their skin that had birthmarked her and him. And yet he cried when he looked at her, and he cried when he held their little girl, and she knew that he would always be her Nelson Eddy. So that's for them. This is Rome, give it.
Nice one. Do you have any more? Going once. Any other takers? Do we have any other poems there coming out? Come on, you'll say a poem. Damn. Well, fair play. There's 22 contributors there to the 5-word challenge. Pretty substantial response. So fair play to everyone. Well done, and fair play on your consistency of applause as well. Exceptionally consistent. Yeah. Yeah, it was very. To be honest, it's an imperfect science, this audience reaction business, because like, how do you grade, a laugh to a and a good raucous laugh, or a good like thoughtful pause? It's quite hard to grade those two things against each other. But I think actually swooping in there towards the end was Lauren. Who came like the dove and pigeon that she so eloquently spoke about to win the 5-word challenge. So Lauren, all you have to do to claim your prize is to come back and regale us with that poem again. Please.
Wow.
Thanks so much. I'm delighted. I've been coming here for ages, and I only ever won once before, and that was through mischief and trickery and bribery. So this is fabulous.
This sounds legit, yeah.
This is legit. Like, I've made it. Woo! I can retire now. They once were doves. At Holy Trinity Boulevard on a drizzle-thick day, a pigeon with one twisted clubbed foot rushes me in an avalanche of feather. I dive to the broken cobbles, eliciting a torrent of laughter from teenagers munching mushies, loitering with calculated ennui in the churchyard. If robins are the messengers of the dead, I wonder what ghost possessed this pigeon. What missive from the underworld it felt urgent enough to deliver in my face? On my knees, cheeks hot pink with the judgment of misspent youth, a jar of light mayo tumbled from my drop groceries rolls to a stop at the Virgin Mary's feet. The pigeon lands a safe arm's length away, locks one bulging brown eye on mine, and shits a biblical flood of white feces on my spilled carrots. Thank you can keep the holdouts. Keep that there. We'll pass that one on.
Okay, folks, give yourselves a big round of applause. That was unreal. There's absolutely loads of people here, so we're just going to take a short little break. It's going to be like 5 minutes tops, and then we'll be back. I have just to let you know as well, I have the open mic list here, so we're going to do like a sign in. I'm going to pass it around.
That's why you gotta sit here. I'm not talking to you. That's great. I say that's great.
There we go. I'm opening.
Well, thank you because you didn't want to win. I would have
Oh yeah, definitely. I did not rate that.
Yeah, there's a list there on that clipboard there for the open mic. And then you just
thought you were prompt. I can't do things I'm so sorry. It was originally yours. Collaborative process. That was really cool. I was really You're officially Those are some Bob Ross trees.
Well, good, good. Kick it off shortly anyway. You want to do them one by one after their readings or whatever, you know.
Cool. I have them warned to keep under time, so friendly nudge on the elbow as well if they were over.
Perfect. Otherwise, they're good. You're throwing out that window
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
We'll be fine. We'll be
No,
fine.
it'll be great. It'll be brilliant. Oh yeah, but you know there's always one. Hopefully not. Yeah. No, it's all good. I have the intros written out for them.
Sorry?
I have the intros written out for them. Is that okay? To just read those?
It's up to you. Absolutely. No, you have to say it up by heart. Sorry. You got 5 minutes to learn that. Probably another one. I don't know what the time of that launch is. It's in the afternoon sometime. I think I have it there. She is there, but alright. I'll tell you the time there. Okay.
So basically, we listen to a few announcements at the start.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I'll just
My name is Liz.
And you're the lecturer?
Yeah.
Nice one. How's the course going?
Good.
Yeah. Have you been doing it for a while?
I've been doing it. This is my 3rd year. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. I feel like we've got a bit of a thing going. You know?
Yeah. It's always a great night. It's always really nice to have everybody up like.
You're right. It's at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. So at this point in the evening, there's just a few announcements. So just to let you know of a few things here. So Ovail aims to maintain a safe space for writers and all attendees. We subscribe to the Arts Council's Equality, Human Rights and Diversity policy, and we ask participants to report any offensive behaviour to Ovail. The 11th 5 Words International Poetry Competition results will be announced later this month.
Maybe increasing contact approach in public settings.
Bit of wish snags. So the 11th 5 Words International Poetry Competition results will be announced later this month. If you've written any 5-word challenge poems over the last year, like since last April, you can send them to submissions@ovail.ie to be considered for possible inclusion in the next anthology, which is volume 17 of the 5-word challenge anthology. And it's going to be launched here on the 8th of April. So you can come up and read your submissions if they're accepted. Victoria Kennefic will launch her second poetry collection, Egg Shell, at Waterstones next week on Tuesday, the 20th February at 6:30. Promises to be a really fantastic reading. Our next event will be the 11th of March, which is Monday, and the guests are Tanya Haberland, who will be joining us via Zoom, and Michael McKim, who will be here in person. On the 24th of February, on Saturday, there will be the launch of Catherine Ronan's debut collection at Cork City Library. Go on, Catherine. That's at 4 p.m. and congratulations, Catherine. That's great. We're delighted and we're looking forward to that reading. And I'm sure she'll sign any copies that you buy off her because she's a friend. She's a good friend. There's a donation jar, which is under the horse's head here. Ovale really appreciates any donations you can make to the event, as it really helps. It's a very important funding stream for the organization. So anything you would like to donate would be greatly appreciated, but no pressure either. And then you can also donate via PayPal, via the link which is above the live poetry stage on the website, or via the contact page at ovale.ie. Okay, so now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the featured readers tonight. Welcome all, delighted to see you, and thanks so much for coming down. They're here representing the MA in Creative Writing from UCC. The readers will be Ben Donnellan, Conor Daly, Mary Dunn, Sam Wingfield, Sean Noonan, Robin Kelly, and Noel Reeling. And they'll be introduced individually by their lecturer, who is Dr. Liz Clark, who's beside me here. So a big warm Ovale welcome, please.
Ready to go? Okay. Hello. I don't generally get to use the doctor title out in the wild, so I'm quite pleased about that. So I'm really happy to be here with some of our MA poets to show off what's happening above in the college, because sometimes we can be a little bit detached up on campus. And in case I forget to say, I just want to say thanks to Ovale and Paul for having us. Thanks to all you. This is just in case I forget at the end to do the thank yous. I'll do them now. So we've a variety of poets tonight who are going to show off a few different skills that they have and a lot of different voices. And we're going to start with Ben Donnellan. Ben Donnellan is a poet from Cork. Woo, Cork. Currently on the master's programme, his work attempts to draw on the inherent mythology present in the lives of the individual, framing everyday life, its struggles, its pleasures in an epic context. Welcome, Ben.
Oh, hello. Oh my God, it's a lot more of you when you're standing up here. I've just got two poems for you today. The first one, if I could, I'd like to dedicate this to my father and his mother, if I could. So this is a poem I've written called The Gardener's Friend. It's January, and he's flitting between the root trunks of the tree ferns in our garden, his detective's eye carefully considering the silvered spines of last year's fronds. Their broad leaves, worn by winter, their feathered edges bronzed and bitten, brownish and brittle like tarnished blades. He cuts them at the base of the stem, lets the rusted, fan-like foliage flit to the earth, whirling in the midwinter wind. Some russet insulation for the nest he'll share with his friend. My father's robin redbreast, perched on the ivy-smothered wall, stewards his preparations, its little russet head tilted as it eyes his every move. A vigilant foreman, diligent and discerning, only the best of his cuttings will do. We inherited the bird in my grandmother's passing, and I think sometimes that's who he sees too, when it comes whirring round his ankles in the garden, winging between each shovel stroke and singing as it had for her God on the cross. When its red breast was bloodied and consecrated, my father's bird stained with her sacred heart. Though my own faith died some years ago, I too find a comfort in the bird. Not in its song, but in its labour, where I see my father's work. The straight line flight between the tree ferns, steady and direct, the deliberate gait along the stepping stones, his eyes narrowed and obsessed. And it's not hard for me to imagine him pluck the barbs from a crown of thorns. For his sanctuary is found in his labour, nothing else and nothing more. Thank you. And the second one, I'd also like to make the dedication, if I can, to my wonderful partner, Sarah, standing right in front of me. So if she bolts for the door, somebody stop her. And this is a poem I wrote called Postcards from Amsterdam. At the Waterloo Plain Market, on a bend in the River Amstel, where the sun, still low in its rise, lights a box of old postcards, like an ingot of tarnished gold. I am lost in the reflection of their pages, yellowed by the flow of time and the inevitable, browned at the edges, burned by the oils of every hand that ever handled them, every thumb that ever thumbed its way through each tacky slip, as you do, your fingers prying cardstock from memory. And they are like memories, like leaves shed from the bough, raked and gathered into bundles, a hoard to be cherished, though spent, deficient. And I hear them, a hushed crowd wilted, weeping in a language I do not speak, but understand. The near soundless expressions of the idealistic and idolized, the language of senescence, learned in the year we've spent apart, in the 3,000 miles between Elysium and Earth, Connolly Road and Union Drive. But as January's wind wraps my scarf around your red-crowned ears and whips the damp, earthy scent of mould from moth-torn clothes, upriver to my wrinkled nose, you catch that distance in my eyes, their glimmer gone to memory, gone numb, gone silent and desperate, gone back to the trail, to Shannon and the slope of the stairs before the departure gate, to the curtain of glass that would divide our lives, to the yielding air before the last hesitant turn, until you squeeze my hand 3 times to say I love you, and that surely this must all be some kind of mail fraud. And in your laugh I hear you've learned the language too. So I squeeze back, feeling the strain of my joints now ossified in the cold, and I think of the gloves in my coat pocket, and of the postcards cast as a sturdy brick of gold. And I know I'll choose to brave the winds of winter, because no wool could bring the warmth of your thumb, thumbing that tune on my purple knuckles. Your hand in mine, always warm when I look back.
No, wasn't that gorgeous? I feel like we've all just had this emotional experience together. And I expect the exact same emotional experience tomorrow in class. Okay, so that was a great start. Thanks, Ben. That was gorgeous. Next up is Connor Daly, who's down the back there and will make his way towards us. So, Connor is a poet and short fiction writer, again from Cork. He is of the parish of UCC, having completed an English and German degree before joining us on the MA in Creative Writing. His work focuses on people, place, and capturing the mundane, and it's previously appeared in Motley. Welcome, Connor.
I just have 3 short poems for you today, and the first one is called Bioluminescence. Arriving at the shore, feeling like less, but hoping to find more within yourself and in the wide expanses of the West. The place where we send our institutionalized or those who should be such, to see if the wild bones of the landscape can tame the landscape within, if the heather and the headland can liven up the rotting dreams floating around your head like sea foam. The city seems so far away when the sun stays out later than the local children, and the stars smatter the sky in abundance like bioluminescence of the heavens. After the second one, you will notice a trend. This one is called stone walls. The various household appliances still working to adjust to this new time zone. The extra hour in the morning enveloping the evening into the kind of darkness that invites your eyes to question. The day is now far beyond uneven, our emotions no longer equinoctial either. My mind like coastal farmland in Galway, full of green but speckled with stone walls, maroon, and a distinctly assured sensibility. For in this land of that which always defies captivity, you can be the same. Straying from boundaries and stone walls and heading to the coast instead, where your mind, like the seaweed, is constantly floating between staying just above the surface and drowning. Like the spirit of those who live here, you find yourself somewhere between battered and becoming, refusing to be knotted, instead learning to break ties among high tides and rolling thunder skies. And this last one is called Fleeting. The days have stretched out since then, but stretched thin, never enough to go round. Not like the cyclical days back in West Cork, the light and dark reflecting off the water at equal glimmering intervals. Our fleeting friendships kindled under goalposts and streetlights. Our bonds briefly broken over romance and happenstance, mending it all the same day over a 99 an hour supine. The following sunrise arriving with boundless intent, crisp and fresh, inviting, imploring that we would not 1 second more waste. As we sit around this mahogany table, recounting summer tales, we drink it all in again in a heartbeat, not wasting a single drop.
It doesn't need to go down that low. I'm short, but I'm not that short. Come on now. Okay, next up we have the most unique of individuals and specimens. We have the mixture in Mary Dunn of an inter-county footballer and a poet. Representing Westmeath, but we won't hold it against her. Mary Dunn has a degree in an international degree in English and French. What does that mean? From the University of Galway. Currently inside in the masters with us, and her work has been published in Ropes Literary Journal, and she is both a poet and a fiction writer. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you so much. So the first poem is called All Before 12 p.m. I scattered slivers of my soul to a new therapist, paced 14 laps of Sentra on Grand Parade, not ready to finish my phone call with my friend, but craving the comfort that the deli provides. I got caught in the middle of a funeral procession. The flowers spelled sister. When I have excelled the art of repression, is it better to leave it buried below 6 layers of concrete, a low constant hum of nausea, a smile as a form of self-defense, or give in to the potential that I might jackhammer cracks, vomit tears, get angry? My friend stayed on the phone with me until 9:30 and told me that it's better if I knock on the door now, but they won't be upset if I'm late because I need another minute. She answered the second I skeeted down the stairs, eyes lowered, hood up, arms and fingers stretched into straight lines, trying to force the cringe to waterfall off me. She stayed until I was ready to face the day on my own terms. She told me she had set an alarm to make sure she would be awake as I walked there. I'd never seen a funeral procession in a town before. Back home, people know when they are on. They are either attending or know to go the long way around. I scrambled to see which lane of traffic had the green light. If I could scurry across the road despite the red man, head down, careful not to show off that I was living a normal day, that my life hadn't been interrupted by loss. I was careful not to look at them, not to make their grief public, but the flowers spelled sister, and that made it personal. And my day had been far from normal. I was trying to run from another room, another building that I will sit in once a week, every week, for who knows how many weeks, and try to speak it all away. My day had been far from normal, this day and every single day since, disrupted by the actions of another, the grief of no longer having a body to call home, nor a bed to feel safe in, nor a box to lay in, bury, and let rest. I will try to make my grief public because it hurts too much to keep private, tucked away from the light, only for me to see. I will try to jackhammer cracks, vomit tears, get angry, but I have become so numb I have no idea how. Thank you. So the second one is called Words I Will Never Speak to My Twin, and it's not half as depressing. We spent our childhood day in, day out, hour after hour, each waking and sleeping minute together. Before we knew how to speak, we spoke our own language. Sat on stools either side of the stove, we drivelled on for hours. Mam said she would stop and stare in disbelief, unsure if we were 2 or 80. I was the escape artist, my bigger head and hands the defining features to tell us apart. I climbed out of my crib into yours, gave you a boost and followed you down the stairs. Mam taught us to bump, bump, bump down on our bums. Telling us to wait for her was a losing battle. One half of time spent giggling, spilled milk sprinkled in cornflakes spat out on the kitchen table in bursts of laughter, shoulders shaking silently at mass despite impending lectures in the car, sometimes days spent in hideouts we made in the fields, only food drawing us back inside. The other half spent fighting, spilled blood from contact harder than intended, shoulder shoved into the door's glass window, shards of glass still clinging to the metal frame. But forgiveness came and still comes easy. An apology rarely needed. Making each other laugh is our extension of the olive branch. Now you stand a forehead above me. I can count the times in a year that I see you on my hands, and I miss you, us, half of myself. And I wonder, is it my fate to feel lonely because I will never be as close to someone as we were when we grew and came into this world together.
I feel kind of disenfranchised that I never had a twin after hearing that. So now we're on to the international portion of the event, and I'm going to introduce Noel Reeling. Noel is a writer from St. Paul, Minnesota, currently in Cork, obviously, studying for an MA in creative writing with the rest of them, and writing both poetry and prose with a very, very crisp focus on the natural world. Welcome, Noel.
Hello. This first one is called Ode to a Calabaza Squash. You arrived to me, a rambunctious sprout traded for a handful of hyacinths. Cradled in mounded earth with 6 iron pellets, your curious fingers erupt. Discovering everywhere the hard feel of cinder block and concrete, I turn you around. Your hermaphroditic nature yields 2 gifts, and I dip my fingers into your waiting flowers, male and female both. I pick the males as they open, batter and fry them with cheese. The female flowers I cultivate longer. It's not until their ovaries bulge into striated green baseballs that they will meet the stove. My pink hands guide you through the garden's maze. Carefully now, your prickling stems resist movement like an old rubber hose. Your final gift lies in a bed of browning reeds, warped green rind wrapping tangerine flesh. As you wither, I hope it brings comfort to say, I devoured every part of you. This next one is called Salamander. Elemental fire flicks in the slick of your skin, blended black and blue, spotted and soiled with damp, sapphire whirlpools drowning in darkening hues. Weighted with water and whiskey to burn it with, delirious light cascades across your border, lights up the paper, turns out the salamanders. And this is a longer one here. It's called The Horde of Valerie the Dragon. Now that you're dead, your son has a 20-yard dumpster parked in the driveway. He wants to sell your house. But Valerie, this house is still buried beneath you, your belongings heaving like the sea in great crests above the furniture. No surface bare besides the sacred plains of the faux leather easy chair beside the bay windows. I've long navigated the troughs where soiled carpet is exposed, checkered with piss trails from some long dead pet. I told him I would help clean the place out, and so I have, working my way from kitchen to living room to office to bedroom. I use these words lightly. You haven't slept in that bedroom in years. This vortex of clutter, this black hole of memories, that rotting mattress finally unearthed between half a ton of waste. I pry open the closet door and pull out 7 baggies of pink aquarium gravel, a paper bag stuffed with fast food wrappers, half a dozen reams of printer paper, 3 boxes of votive candles, an unopened pair of compression socks, a prayer card from your husband's funeral, a weathered bunch of fake marigolds, 4 identical whale statuettes from the Shed Aquarium gift shop, a cat toy, a pack of Christmas-themed bath bombs, loose golf tees, a basket of seashells, a Y2K t-shirt, 37 classical music CDs, a cross-stitched kitten on a white napkin, an empty Cabbage Patch doll box, a framed photo of Oscar's high school graduation, a crushed roll of paper towels, a stack of piano lesson books, a tube of glass ornaments, a shoebox of greeting cards, a wicker basket of canned fish, a pink baby onesie, a painted wooden giraffe, a tangled nest, a brittle, faded newspaper, and at last, reaching into the exposed crater, my fingers brushed against something warm, a massive egg, tea-stained brown and gritty like old paint. I lift it out and hold it in my lap, and through my jeans I can feel it thrumming against the shell, a heartbeat faint but steady.
Okay, I think we have a competition for the bog down in the valley. So next up we have Sam Wingfield Karpowitz from Alexandria, Virginia, who's also lived in Minnesota and Northern California before arriving in Cork. Sam's poems are tender and delicate to the point that you nearly wait for them to fracture while he's reading them. So let's just welcome Sam and see what happens.
Thank you. Ben was definitely right. There are a lot of people when you stand here. Thank you all for having us. This first poem that I'm going to read is called Sewing. Sewing. Amber winter light slopes into the nook. The wood stove flames twitch, blur, and vanish like an oriole from a Douglas fir. Fishnet moss quivers, pre-dusk swallows flit and feed as the soup warms. You slant there, loosely, in the green silk robe my mother gave you, tied at the waist, sewing ink prints into cream dresses, your tongue focusing against your lower lip, the light slit sounds of thread through muslin, almost perceptible. Your method is to etch trees and creatures in copper plates, bathe them in acid, print them on cloth, suture in them thin sensations of color like ligaments, tissue. Most nights it becomes like this: fog, a low round moon. Cherry wood smoke ascends, easily from the flu, and its ashy scent curls back inside the slit window. You pause, head tilted to inspect the hand's work, pull a stream of hair behind your ear, resume. I'm drafting casually. Art seems to be the subject, its order and lapse, its sense of seeing and seen. But there is something more in the looping pierce of needle, thread, and fabric, like poetry, a rhythmic entering, breath, and re-entering, not so much a way of witness as a way within it. Thank you. The second poem is called Smile, Small Teeth. Fuchsias from the rain-rivered window, slim red petals, violet torsos, tendrils like ballet legs, dangling. Behind them, the children chase a soccer ball in the garden. They know the English words, hello and goodbye, and they smile small teeth when they open doors for me in the red-floored halls. I don't know what they have or have not seen. It is autumn. The rain drips from the fuchsias, from the children's dark hair. It is almost possible that this will be what they take. Brief rains, the goldening garden, soccer, hello, goodbye, fuchsias. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to invite Sean Noonan up from the back. If you want to make your way forward. Sean, as he slowly makes his way here, I'll introduce him. Sean writes poetry with an outdoor slant. He writes the poetry indoors sometimes as well. Professionally and personally, he's fascinated by nature and its power to heal. In addition, he sees it as a form of personal adventure, and when he's not outdoors, poetry offers him an outlet for exploration through words, images, and stories. Here comes Sean.
Hey there, everyone. Thanks very much for having me, and just thanks for this great opportunity. In the words of a famous Corkman, if anyone doesn't get the joke. I just have 3 poems for you for this evening. First one is Saint Finbar and the Wren. The king is calling out to me. I wander into his garden to see him in his tree. Perched atop a bramble, he belts his bullets of sound, upward to the celestial winter sun, overlord of Saint Finbar's ground. Catching my eye, he dashes away at a flighty, flitting run to the heart of the cathedral's mindful maze. Diligently I follow to tread the gravel track, wondering what an urban pilgrim might learn on his mundane morning commute. Each step becomes a crinkle through rough gravel and worry left behind. First I twist right, then to the left. My gaze is always down. Retracing old paths, contemplating the new, I begin to ponder the center and who will greet me there, Finbar or the bird. Arriving, I find myself alone, remembering the rumbling of cars in a grumbling city, rousing from slumbering sleep. Thank you. This next one is called Knepping. I think that's how you pronounce the word. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know. It's about a walk I went on in Wexford. They have a sensory walk where you walk barefoot in the river. It's really beautiful, and apparently it's called Knepping. A river walk in Wexford, dearest Tintern, where this was done. Alone before Mother Nature, we tread the sensory floor. He that went before me, hurt in ways he hardly knew, while I that followed loyally did not yet know her power. Barefoot we went on rounded stones, across rough mulch and timber cross sections, until painfully we transitioned to the river. Cold needles stabbed, speech ripped away. The rasping call of bickering jays replaced the words we'd spoke, while the pungent tang of wild garlic overbrimming on the bank hung heavily in the nose. Emerging from the water, we shared a knowing grin before returning round once again to see if we'd found a cure. Thank you.
I can explain where that came from.
Oh yeah? Cool.
How do you pronounce it?
Knipe. Okay, kniping,
With a
it's
double
called.
P, with a double P,
Yeah, double P.
So, Knipe. Dr. Knipe was a doctor who worked with colds and hot treatment interchangeably, but like what clung most is cold treatments, water treatments, and it's very integrated into the German culture. I guess because he was, I don't actually know that bit, but I think he was very much favored by the German system. That was very much both like physical
Too much
qualities as well.
information.
and so anyway, he was a doctor and he worked with patients healing many ailments with cold water treatments, and there's a lot of stuff to know about that.
Beautiful, thanks very much. That's great to know. And my final poem is Planting. With our druid's toolkit, we made straight for the treeless green. 4 potted oaks, 2 shovels, a pickaxe and a barrow. Breaking the sod, we turned the loam, prying, making our holes. James, my neighbour, took the pick like a hazel wand of old, and reverentially swinging, clattered loose the rocky depths. Then scooping with the shovel, I dug us toward a sacred earthen core. Lifting the pots, we shook free my 4 oaks from their choking plastic prisons, before burying them alive beneath churned up wormy soil to find freedom in their new home. A minute pagan offering in a modern synthetic world. Though the sun was falling and light fading, we were light of foot, druids upon the earth, bringing new life into nature, growing toward wisdom. Wiping the brow, we whispered hopes to the young oaks that they might grow tall, offering advice once matured. Archaic druids' words, spoken to thick evening air, to be held by the night and remembered by the earth, in a world never far from breaking. Thanks very much.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our session, which I'm now going to call Poets in the Wild. And thank you for the context on that one, because myself and Sean were sitting in the office today trying to figure out how to pronounce it. And I don't think we came to a conclusion until just there. So thank you for that. So finally this evening, I am going to introduce poet Robin Kelly. Robin is a poet and fiction writer studying with us up in UCC. Her pieces predominantly focus on themes of isolation, grief, and self-reflection. Their work has been featured in New World Order, Motley Magazine, and the Caveat Lector. Can I introduce and greet Robin?
Oh wow, there's a lot of people.
Thank you very much. You guys are an incredibly tough act to follow. I am so lucky to be with so many talented people for this course, and I will do my best. But you guys are it. Thank you so much. I have two poems for you this evening. The first one is called "The Descent of the Twin Flame Sun," and it is for my dear friend Leah, who is teaching in Japan. Drunk on sunlight and cheap wine, we are glowing on that balcony of your dad's IKEA catalog apartment. I began to slur my words, creasing laughter escaped your slightly wet mouth. I have fought and lost for friends over school's outcast years, hypothesis of something promising not yet proven. When I met you, on the first day of college, I saw you, the sun as the center of the universe, Aristarchus of Samos's first discovery. It pains me to think of you, alone, in that almost house, within the four walls never really called home. I promised to help you bring the place to life when the night crept in. Filling it with incense that settled into ghost lakes, we didn't wade through, we exploded, sending the smoke into dizzying tendrils that danced with us. Each throw of our limbs pushed clouds upwards till the room was a fragrant haze. Despite the snowballing of time, the speakers roared our favorite songs. They promised on those nights we were young and sweet, only 17. You didn't care that my voice was shit because we screamed it together. We meant it. We burst at the seams until red and sleepy, the energy tipped and spilled from us. Then we collapsed into the dark to talk about the future. Our plans to go to that festival somewhere in Europe, I can't remember where, just that you said it's crazy. Or how I was falling in love again. I needed your help finding the words. Unapologetically loud and unfiltered, I cherish all of our radiant nonsense. With all that talk, you'd think I'd have realized that one day you'd be gone. A 5,827 miles from here, kind of gone. In your new home, you will have 10 more minutes day glow, distracting from an overshadowing time difference. You will travel 9 hours into the future without scientific breakthroughs. But then they were only words, though soon enough they'd become as real as the earliest inscriptions of solar eclipses. The day you left, you took every sigh, hum, and snore, every repeated phrase and ism to teach English to strangers' children. With each day that passes, you learn to dream in a language of honorifics I cannot understand. My girlish laugh, our best kept secrets, went with you, neatly folded in a suitcase. I hope one day you'll come back and they will come with you. Thank you very much. This next one is called A Fox Named Omen, and I would like to dedicate this to my granddad. In the creeping truffle dusk, I saw the silhouette of a frail creature. His eyes said what his body couldn't. I've been waiting, child. I felt sorry to have kept him there, but I had things still needing to be done. Goodbyes yet to give I didn't know would be my last, and bedtime stories to be handed down from firm hands to mine. But I can see his patience is thin, like the fur clumped over his spine, eyes sunken deep within his skull, blinking with the oozing light of evening sun. The ears stiffen with the sound of the nearby city, nose lifted to the sky, feeling the wind curl as if to sense time by a shift in the air. I know this creature can control the sky, but no inevitable fate can be prevented. Time is carried by the wind, grown in the soil, gifted to newborn lambs in the spring. I know he has followed me here, to make me feel what I cannot yet see. But before I return, home to kiss a cheek for the last time, I see the sun. It has chased us to this moment of suspended time, here to show us the end has come. In a moment's flicker, it sinks over the hills, awaiting to bring light to new life. The fleeting blood-orange splash catches the glint of the animal's coat, A burning, sprawling red glows from his body. When I retreat to the present, in the form of a pebble-dashed cul-de-sac house, the light has been drained and bottled from the front room. I hear the crackle of your cherished gramophone. It's playing a song written long before I was born. You are content with a cup of tea at the head of the table. I pull out a chair and you ask about my day. What did you see, Petal? A fox, I say.
Wow, what a treat. Thanks a lot. Really beautiful. What a beautiful variety of voices there. Thank you to Liz. Yeah, could we give a big welcome for all the Thank you. Appreciation for all the people there, please. We're just going to take a 5 minute break, but I still want some. There's still the open mic list here if anybody hasn't signed it and who would like to. But yeah, we'll see you in 5 minutes. Nice one. Thanks so much.
That was great, wasn't it?
Nice one, yeah.
That was
beautiful.
cool.
What a nice mix, like
they're
real
cool. They're
variety,
cool.
Yeah,
they're cool. It was
great
really cool.
variety. Really cool.
Thanks so much for this. Oh yes, get your drink.
Oh, I mean, my voice is very shaky there, but...
Come on, man.
The rhythm on it was awesome. The rhythm is awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was like you were in the groove.
No, you're in the groove. Thank you. Really, truly.
And I mean, with an introduction like that, I could do that.
Yeah. I didn't mention any football in my bio.
Danny would have been disgusted if I didn't drop that. And I literally just been making your bones in college.
Oh god, yeah, I'm like this tonight and workshop in the morning, like
I know, girl.
it's terrible. Terrible.
Which is life.
We'll see what
These are our slings and arrows.
I don't know if we're going to be able to make it.
I think we're gonna have to sleep out.
It was great fun. And it was very clear. The decibel level was way up. Hey girl. Nice to have you. Good to see you. Go on.
He's in there somewhere. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, but it's tasty line.
Oh, great.
There's a nice space up there now, Michelle.
Yeah, maybe they should, to be honest. Sorry. Sorry. That's kind of cool, actually. Clearly not too easy, sorry. Sorry, I'll try and make my way out. Hey Lauren, how's it going? Come here, you know the poet that's going to read for you? Becca is there in the stripy shirt. Yeah. So, no, not a bother. I'm wild on her stuff. That's not, yeah, well done on the old 5-word challenge.
Great shot.
Well done, like,
Good job, man.
Just have to
Yeah, I think it changes the game, alright. Yeah, 100%.
It's
yeah, that's true, man. Arrow. It's good crack.
When I was doing mythology,
How many were in it? Yeah.
it was not.
There's like 20 of them.
That's too much.
You be getting your steps in.
You might get like more fun doing it in the semester. But
Yeah.
for us, it was just like a
Good job, though. It's cool.
Nice to see you. I miss being in your class.
Yeah? No.
That's it, I'll try and travel back
How bad it is to get
Yeah.
Throw them wherever, they throw them.
February, it's possibly open book.
Ordered for somebody else, but she was one of the ones that was came off tonight with our UCC class, but her partner died on her. I know. So one wanted me to read a poem for her about what I was saying. I have to go earlier. Nip it up here. Actually, yeah, like like it was like he straight up like we swam across once and then we could do twice and I'm reading something for night. So oh yeah, we are. Yeah, literally on Monday. Like I'm here. If you want to you can put your name there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take your spot.
She saw his body. She saw his body for the first time. And they showed it. I guess they finished autopsy. They shouldn't have shown it today. It's pretty fucked. Yeah. Anyways, all this to say, not my poem. Just want to make sure to go on and be done. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much.
I'll allow you to go there. Yeah.
Corey, Lennon.
Hello, Rory. Hello, Lennon.
It's great.
I like this.
Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want back here.
Thanks, mate. Nice
If you're stuck, jump in here with us.
Hello. Antonio, could you just go let them know outside that we're going to start? So welcome back. I'm just going to let the folks from outside come up there. But we have a extremely long list of names here, which is great. Great to see. And yeah, we just asked you to keep it to one poem. Yeah. Two. Yeah. If you thought tonight was going to be the night you were going to break out that epic 6-7 minute poem, you've this opportunity now to forget about that thought. Some other time maybe. But the first up to the open mic is Antonio Donati.
He's just sitting down.
Hi, hello again. Congratulations to the beautiful poets before me. Lovely poems, and I'd say that the future of the poetry it's in a safe end, at least here. So. This poem is inspired by my last travel in La Palma, which is an island not too far from Tenerife. It's called the dragon tree. Dragon tree, it's a plant, very symbolic and very important for the Spanish and especially for the inhabitant thereof, La Palma. The dragon tree. A leaf can reverberate itself as a moment. A branch with human roots, lyrical, brutal, and majestic. As a tree obedient to the only condition of becoming, sometimes overcoming. Every layer of green is a flame of memory, a syndrome where the depth weird becomes a phosphorescent understanding, an imaginative reach haunted by lust and loneliness, precise and mesmerizing as a crystalline gem. Every part of the plant is transparent, crushes the virtual waiting, a long crafted primordial energy, grounded, real. I am here. I am with you to give you air to breathe, a space, roots to belong with. The legend says that in the depth of your heart is hidden a dragon that only when you will die will be ready to fly. Flames will be your words. You are the present. I am the past who speaks to your future. Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Antonio. Can we have Kemi up next, please?
So this is called Still Life in the Old Girl Yet. Laughter erupts from your nap. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong version. Laughter erupts from your nap. You are stashing giggles in closed eyes and bent head. Though half asleep, you are listening and playing along with a hangman game. E is the last letter of a 3-letter word. Fee, you call out. Such a smart guess without lifting your head. Your shoulders are percussion to the cacophony of wrong guesses. No K, no F, no Q, no T. Your O is correct. It precedes the last letter E, drawing out eyes to your tightening belly. The rise and fall of the skitting causes the shimmer of Iro and Buba as the sequins catch the light. This reminds me of my boys when they were babies. Early morning giggles would sparkle out of their bedrooms. Angels tickled them in their sleep. Now our wet eyes are caught up with the joy of watching yours squeezed close as they guess row, which is incorrect, then continue to chortle H for ho, F for foe, J for Joe. Do is the correct guess from somebody else, but nobody cares. All that matters is your hilarious laughter.
Thanks a lot, Ken. We're going to go on to Zoom next, and we're going to have Pam Campbell.
Thanks. This, I want to shout out to Paul, all the classes I've taken from him in creative writing. And I also want to shout out to Blue Mondays group. This poem is one I'm going to submit. So I'm going to read it to y'all first. Here we go. What I would say when words come. You're along a tidal river where I witnessed your birth and named you Whisper. So when I call Whisper, your 4-point antlered head lifts, your liquid brown eyes to my hazel, sacred hold, salt marsh bounded in its seasonal shift from bright green to gold. It's been 17 months since your red-brown body sack-slipped from womb to coarse sand, your first ground. Summer sun sparkled marsh, your slender legs splayed, spots lay like a blanket on your torso and flanks. You found teat and suckled, held in mama's space. She cleaned and nudged your newborn newness from her to higher ground, you bursting into Spartina grass, cupped ears tucked tight to tiny head. I worried that day when she belly rested in birthing place, eyes closed, exhausted, while you disappeared on a path used by Bobcat. Soundless stealth. Yours swelled Spartina grass, mine seeded rogue cells. But that summer that birthed you held me, surgery and radiation weary, medication dizzy. Determined to spot you, I pushed, grew stronger. My body became mine again. And now today, I see the despair of a wound blooming blue-red below your tarsal gland, hind leg twice its normal size. Yet your swollen skin is intact. Hope for closed fracture and no infection. I consider calling wildlife, but here you are, breathing easy, calm grazing. You survived the culling harvest. How can I betray you to the rifle? I move when you move. Lips low, ground forage, nibble and crunch, acorns, mushrooms, bark. Thicket dense we walk. You favoring your left leg, me favoring my left side. Radiation ravaged, injury raw, rib and chest. Does your wound burn like mine? Whisper. What I would say into the cup of your ear aren't words, but the sound when two humans have no words. The sound woven into the sound of crying, a soft shh, shh, shh. What I would say when words come, look at you, hurting, maybe even more than me. Both of us watching tide ebb, both of us waiting to miracle. Thank you.
Beautiful. Could we have Roxanne next, please?
So in the past weeks, I thought I couldn't write a line, and the 5-word challenge proved me wrong. So I made this translation. I didn't write the original. You will cry, you know. I wanted to warn you. Nobody mentions it, would rather lie. So you will cry. But don't worry, it's okay. Fearless people show themselves by weeping. You will cry, of course, coming into this world. Sobbing will follow through your very first seconds. Tears are salty as we come from the sea. Let me share with you what my father never told me. Surely you will veil from sorrow, from anger, but also from laughter, too many times from sadness. Logical tears of those socially acceptable, or unnecessary tears forgotten the day after. Because of skinned knees or lost sweetheart, faraway friendships or drained ones. You will moan on your flaws, your failures, in a solitary place or during a party. If grounded, you will whine for being caught. You will keep that inside your bruised soul. Then a bit of growing up, but you will still cry. Between dark nights and happy days, you'll get by. One day the telephone will ring for a silence, a scream, a cop, or a doctor. You will bawl again, you'll shed tears more. The moment you come across the meaning of death. You will lament for those who cannot see, in an old temple on a platform ski, sometimes alone and helpless, filled with regrets. That's when you'll keep inside some bitter secrets. Your most beautiful tears will flow from indignation, from rage, fury, or commiseration. Don't you ever hide them. They're your best pride and the trophies of our humanity. You will grieve over what is lost, a country, a first name, a picture, a street. Your washed out wrinkles will become channels on which will sail archaic ships. People will appear more savage than kind. You will sigh for sharing our world with such a nasty and vicious part of mankind. And you will grow bitter over the years. You will cry a lot less when you get to my age, and you will watch the storms fade away. Things we could never share will ever remain, but what we cried is forever our gain. Paul, is it possible for me to read the translation, the original in French? Sure. Thank you. And there we go. I'm going to try not to cry. Tu vas pleurer, je sais. Je voulais te le dire. On ne se le dit pas. On préfère mentir. Mais oui, tu pleureras. Tu sais, ce n'est pas grave. C'est au terme des pleurs qu'on mesure les braves. Tu vas pleurer, bien sûr, en découvrant ce monde. Des sanglots pareront ta première seconde. Nos larmes sont salées, car on vient de la mer. Laisse-moi te dire ce que m'a tué mon père. Certes, tu pleureras de peine, de colère, et parfois de rire, trop souvent de chagrin. Des larmes logiques, de celles qu'on tolère, des larmes superflues, oubliées demain. Des genoux écorchés, des amoureux perdus, des amis qui s'en vont, d'autres qui n'en sont plus. Tu pleureras parfois tes défauts, tes défaites, dans un lieu solitaire ou au cœur d'une fête. Puni, tu pleureras d'avoir été surpris. Tu garderas cela dans ton âme meurtrie. Tu grandiras un peu, tu pleureras toujours. Tu auras tes nuits noires et aussi tes beaux jours. Et un téléphone sonnera un matin, un silence ou un cri, un flic ou un médecin. Tu pleureras encore, tu pleureras plus fort, en apprenant soudain ce que c'est que la mort. Tu pleureras pour ceux qui n'ont plus de regard, dans un temple vieilli, sur le quai d'une gare. Seul et vaincu parfois, habité de regrets, tu garderas pour toi quelques amers secrets. Tes plus belles larmes seront d'indignation, de rage, de fureur, de commisération. Ne les cache jamais, quelle soit ta fierté. Ce sont les médailles de notre humanité. Tu pleureras sur tout ce qui a disparu, un pays, un prénom, une image, une rue. Tes rides délavées deviendront les canaux sur lesquels vogueront d'archaïques vaisseaux. Les gens te sembleront plus féroces que sages. Tu pleureras d'avoir mis notre monde en partage avec ces idiots méchants et vicieux. Et tu t'assombriras en devenant plus vieux. Tu pleureras bien moins quand tu auras mon âge, et tu regarderas s'en aller les orages. Il restera toujours ce qu'on n'a pas su dire, mais ce qu'on a pleuré nous aura fait grandir. And shout out to the writer of this piece because it's just...
Roxanne, thanks a lot. We're going to have Erin Connolly up to the mic next, please.
So I'm just going to intro this piece for her because I wrote it, and it's about a guy called Julian. I don't know if you heard, a guy died in the river on Monday. He was my boyfriend. And he was homeless until about 5 days before he died. And this is a poem about how we met.
So this is by Naeem. on just one moment. Eight-faced man. With every crinkled can, you crush another dream. Julian, what was it that made you throw the pieces of yourself away to pile up with a stack of cans and junky kits you call home? What tickles that sleeping temper to erupt, and what precisely is the lava made of? I sit with you in your kingdom of squalor, and our friendship pulsates paradox. While I've been gliding along my ever top, you bottom feed the city's substratum, hard side up. 48 hours on a stimulant walking escapade, don't lie, and there's little pretense left to hide that won't just slither through to show itself between the fine lines of your eyes. Sometimes seething, sometimes drooped with latent joy, which on closer inspection yields the reflection of your tapered back dejection. Day slowly breaks, the city wakes before we've slept. You're wishing for some gloves to cover your beaten hands, instruments of wholesome possibilities, battered by tough self-love. Storm clouds brew behind the iris despite the day's blazing amphetamine sun. I now know it tends to follow Darn's low and homeless hum. Through splits and gray clouds, your brilliance shines through for brief moments. My ears perk up when I realize exactly who I'm talking to. You ask with dented fervor, do you think I'm bad? And I tell you, you're much like me and anyone else, a bit of a mixed bag. But the right answer, it seems, is even more nuanced. And when I look into your eyes, I see a spotless soul peeping out from behind an overcast mind. You are both saint and antichrist, and your outer surface changes with each further inward slice. You seem as perplexed as I. Listen, you're good enough that I couldn't be more glad to have gambled my belongings and safety, ample for you to win my trust. So I could follow you through night's deserted alleys, no soul knowing where I am, not knowing how to get back. Now I've seen you from many angles, glanced in the prism from quite a few sides to see the mass inside that part duck-down duvet, part broken glass bottle, and part ice. Your deeper layer has 8 faces that I can count. The wayward son, the lost brother, the street comrade, the formidable opponent, the analyst, the engineer, the familiar. And to me, you're the ghost of conscience, who I wish to prod and pray right out of purgatory. Belonging to your greater whole, each part broke away to grow up on its own and now struggles to clip back to its origin. Are you destined to be jagged and 8-faced, or will fragments one day wedge back into place? Somehow my presence sparks untold revelation, and you realize that you are loved. My life has never felt so fucking vain, and there's nothing left for pride to take. Double named, you 8-faced man might be the catalyst for moving my virtues and vices along so fast they intertwine and become an unintelligible lump of one. I wish to capture the you that saw into my mind clearly enough to tell me something I didn't want to know about. Somehow it crystallized you as an observant thinker whose intellect can hammer down on hard truths. You don't need to tell me your dreams, and you keep them hushed like all gentlemen would and rummage through the rubble to see what's left. Is she worth a moment of my infinite time? Is she worth the dull and constant ache? Somehow in your identity's fray you unravel who I am, and I hope I do the same to you until your days are no longer stainless steel blue. But how can I tell you without sounding like a charlatan that I see right into your soul? You say I bore easily, but it's clear the world's normative goals are too damn dull for you to sift through. And the pastel gray-blue coat you wear seems more honest, even when coated in the dust that comes with weeks of months of sleeping rough. Those hands of yours, fit to build, beat, and destroy. You are both saint and antichrist, and I watch in awe as your punched purple knuckles check the trifles of my bike. You point me in the direction of home, where I'll go to lay in bed, bone dry, as you face another damp day and wait around to die.
A huge thank you to you both. A beautiful tribute. May you rest in peace. Next up to the mic, we're going to have Patrick Cotter, please.
Has anybody here studied Icelandic? Okay, that means I can mispronounce a place name so without being corrected. Okay, with all the ghost poems earlier, I'm going to keep that theme. The book Sonic White Poise. The poem is called Ghost Fest. The ghosts of this house have taken to mocking my grief. Even my faux fleece eye mask fails to fence them out. The ghosts of this house, house of shudders and creaks, they prise aside my eyelids as I sleep and bounce on my corneas with ectoplasmic luminance, impatient to waken me and engage them in fun. The ghosts of this house have taken to strewing glass shards beneath my naked feet, from gin tumblers tottering into flamboyant leaps off bookshelves to tea-like jars exploding suddenly after a flame's snuffing. Some kinds of glass are safe from their sabotage. The new triple glazed frames I had installed last winter, and the stained glass crafted by my Icelandic ex-lover, he of the now tundric Fader. The ghosts of this house cannot spook their way through stone too thick, or through argon, or through the leaded frames and pot metal panes of stained glass. They have been trapped in the house for weeks, goading me to unlock my front door. The Barrack Street Festival of Ghosts happens soon, and my house-sharing spectres like to rehearse with their motley mates from mixed centuries in the open air, marching to venerable tunage by generations of dead members of the Barrack Street Brass Band. To God Save the Queen from the abstemious 1837 iteration, or to Lipizzaner's prancing from the Beamish guzzling 1913 lot. Anyway, my boy from Fludir, he of the kumquat-shaped boysenberry eyes, had enough of rowdy revenants. Even Eric the Red wouldn't stomach lodging with this malevolent Casperish ménage, he whined in his scandalized Scandi intonations. His snow nipples never melted on the tongue, but hardened to moist, flickable stone. Stones I'll never fling again, as the ghosts of this house suck up my tears and spit them back at me, like weird indoor weather. Oh, I'll make sure they'll miss this year the non-improvised groans and gurgling of Dan the Black and Tan, half his hairy skull flapping over his ear onto his shoulder after running with the teenage Mick Finn and his polished Mauser, and Mick Finn himself raw-necked from the rope which wrangled him. They'll forgo the joys of the 18th century camp followers of Blue Coat Lane, shrieking as they pass the Cameroonian coiffeur, where local white girls used to reap their cornrow extensions, all because these mangy sprites mock my grief over him named Leaf.
Thanks a lot, Pat. Next up to the open mic, we're going to have John Tynan, please.
Evening all. I was just thinking the walk up here probably took as long as this poem. I was with a friend of mine the other day. Actually, I spent some time with his father who was suffering from dementia. So, dusk of age, and he knew that it was gone, that he would ever know it again. His father's name, the one they shared, and he accepted it with sorrowed smirk and thin-skinned shaky hands outstretched, pleading solace and understanding. and the vibrancy of youth remained mute in the pictures on the wall, and a bright mind clouded in the dusk of age. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Could we have tonight's 5-word challenge winner, Lauren Ronan, up next?
Thank you so much. These are impossible poems to follow, so I will attempt to bring it down a notch. Burlesque. 6 human shapes reflected, a slow, uncertain strip of tops, not sky-clad yet, but wrapped up in cold arms, ashamed. Bent elbows to obscure, impure nipples, brown and pink. Eyes hip-hop in wet sockets, jerk pop and lock, relief to rest our gaze on melody. This goddess is unafraid, even with her clothes off. She illustrates that girls with generous proportions can simply swim their shoulders to control speed and swirl, while those of more flat physique bounce on the balls of feet. She tells us of a time when Gypsy Rose Lee performed on stage at Minsky's. A strap snapped and her gown fell with a splash. Every beast in the audience grew horns, and to groans of joy her act was born. She teaches that shame is a fire with flames of doubt that consume. We must be fierce without armor, fearless to reject a Puritan world and emerge like that Phoenician bird. Shame, the only thing in ashes. She bestows upon us pasties, hand-stitched in custom sizes, tiny shields to mount rebellion against the censorship of our breasts. Tie with a thread for Boston style. Still overdressed, laughs Lady Godiva. By the time we glitter on the stage, our guilt is stripped away. We no longer fear the gaze of men like Diana feared from Actaeon. Proud of fat folds and soft curves, jubilant tassels swish and twirl. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Lauren. Can we have Sue Blue next, please?
Thanks very much. Right, I think I made a wrong choice here. We've had plenty of poems that are very personal. This is political. It's a very old one as well, that I wrote in 2014, but I pulled it out because I think it's still relevant. And the title is Hegemony. When future paths are bending cold with sightless eyes, and rear and bolt beneath commands from heartless ranks of corporate giants and impersonal global banks, and people can no longer lead their little lives. When soon our bodies ail and wane with lifeless frailty, because we stuff our bellies full with food unhealthy, and beneath the watchful eyes of camera spies, the new Cold War flares up on how to feed the world. When loving families break apart and rip asunder,
burdened down because their homes and houses crumble through global warming or the crazy banking crash and oily lies by earthquakes fracked and gashed. When here on earth all creatures suffer only anguish, the price of the old path of progress is too high. Then time has come for everything to be extinguished, that without heart nor foresight shapes our future days. When we completely suction off the giant's breath, because we simply will no longer follow lies, our chance is total non-compliance with their scheming to pull for good the grounds from under them away. We can achieve, with grit and courage to survive, what David did when he prevailed against Goliath.
Thanks, Lester. Next one. We're gonna have Roisin Leggett Bowen up next, please. If anybody would like a seat, there's some seats in here. There's plenty of free seats in there. You come forward.
So it's really lovely to listen to you all this evening. Thanks for your work and thanks for letting us hear it. Congratulations to the UCC crowd and their beautiful work tonight. Wasn't it great? So I was driving on the South Link Road a few weeks ago, and in my rear view mirror, I spotted a car that I know very well, that I've driven many, many times, but that I have not seen since it was sold. It was my father's car, but he was always the passenger. He never drove it because his leg was amputated. So we drove the car for him, and we had a swivel chair that didn't swivel very well in the front. And God, it caught my eye. So this is for the car. So this is like a column poem. You can read it down like this, but you can have like a surrealistic experience if you read it across as well. I'll just do the down today. It's called O4C 14598. If any of you own that now, let me know.
I'll find it.
You'll find it for me, thank you. I tried to find it. In the fast lane, I catch it in the rear view mirror. Silver, a colour 50% less likely to be involved in a collision. Once, my father's car, always the passenger, co-pilot on spins, doctor visits, masses, funerals, our road trips. His first taste of a flat white in the museum cafe, and that time at the film festival, screening of African Queen, when I was asked, "Is that Jack Cardiff?" I indicate, pull into the slow lane. It overtakes me. Lights blink back before me now. Watching, not the occupants, but swallowing up the car boot. Wheelchairless, no spinning spoke with gear shifts. The dent in the bumper there still, where my mother backed up a little too much, tipped that other car. She was a feather that day, opened up 1 week old grief was weeping. while that woman threw rage in a shopping centre car park. He was morphined up post-surgery, my sister and I on nighttime shifts, swabbing his nightmares. They didn't know what to do with the question when we asked about his leg. Where would it go? Is it disposed of? My brothers left the hazard lights on while the mortician handed them an elongated cardboard box fastened in the back seat. They drove it to the plot on the mountain where our farmer neighbours waited, shovels in their warm, welted hands. They eased it into the earth 10 years before he'd follow it. At the exit for the hospice, the hospice, the car races full throttle. I shadow it far beyond home, fuchsia roads, skidding round bends, careening hairpins, treacherous turns, catching up but losing ground. I ease my foot off the accelerator, no longer within my view, just figment, ever phantom, never mine to steer.
Could we have Mona Lynch next, please?
Thank you. It's a great joy to be here tonight and to see that poetry is doing well in Cork. I sat where you were short few years ago, age 75, and it's unbelievable the way poetry is nurtured here in Cork at any age. A little touch of Tennyson at the start of this. It's called Remembering Kate Bush. Wave after wave, each mightier than the last, till last a ninth one, gathering half the deep, and full of voices, slowly rose and plunged, roaring, and all the wave was in a flame. Imagine the thrill for a fledgling, aging poet to find these words, copies of Tennyson's own handwriting, floating, a confetti overhead, and my luck in catching one to have it framed over my desk. I was at Kate Bush's performance Before the Dawn at the Apollo Hammersmith, London 2014. I sat in the dark, as at sea, as a setting on stage, accompanying 3 fans in their late 40s, who, when teenagers in the 70s, tested the rafters of our house with her rendering of Heathcliff, I am Cathy, I have come home. It still rings in my ears. My magical evening began when, peckish, we squeezed into the Dove, a small gastropub on the Thames, where James Thomson wrote, Rule Britannia. Soon we entered the pulsing foyer of the Apollo, dazzled by the Kate Bush merchandise. In the 9th wave, the power of imagination was tested in the underwater scenes, played out on stage, where someone has been washed overboard and is alone and helpless. She sang throughout this, underwater, in a life jacket with a hidden mic. A Sky of Honey, the final part of the show, was a joy of a different kind. I liked that she included her son Bertie singing in this portrayal of how light influences birdsong throughout the day. I flew home next day, totally impressed by the influence of Tennyson's poem, and I now hold a copy of the Idylls of the King.
Thanks a lot, Marla. Nice one. And we'll have Cathal O'Reilly next, please.
Hello. It was my first time at an Ovale event, and just blown away by the speakers. Waiting there for the last while was absolutely nerve-wracking. My first time here, and anyway. This is I won't be reading from a page or anything. That is actually written for a short film originally, and it was performed as a monologue. So I'm going to try and do it like that tonight. And it's called "I'm Still Here." Okay. I went away a time ago to places people shouldn't go, to hallowed halls of greatest quiet where I wandered the eternal night, lost and lonesome, caught adrift, without a way to bridge the rift. I retreated inwards and blocked my ears to avoid the thunder of my fears. My fears scurried from the corn like long-legged spiders. I could hear them whisper as I lay wrapped in rehabilitation sheets. And I don't know for certain, but I believe they watched over me as I slept, punished and protected at the same time. I found moments when she came to me and eased my pain, but faded again in the morning light when I begged for sleep. I begged for sleep. I begged for sleep. I begged for sleep to take me in so I could rest with her again. And all those years would fade away. She'd take my hand and bid me stay. But the panacea dulled my mind, and the winter left the rains behind. It was but hope that it would right, but I needed you oh so badly that night. I needed you oh so badly that night, but I guess you had better things to do. Things to do. Things to do. I have things to do these days. Real things. Actual things that actually mean something. The mist has lifted, and although I don't always know what's on the horizon, at least I know where it is, and all I have to do is get beyond it. Find a new horizon. I can stare into each day now without it staring me down, and I bow my head for no man, nor woman neither. I am as old as I've ever been, and I'll never be this young again. I'm fighting back. Fighting back. Fighting back. Fighting back tears for the times that have passed. Closing this chapter of living at last. I bid my adieu to the hospital walls who kept all my secrets and answered my calls. To the broken, the fractured, the wounded and brave, I cherish each droplet of love that you gave. And to the present, year after year, I'm still fighting. I'm still winning. I'm still here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Cathal. Unreal. Fair play. Great to have you. We look forward to hearing more. We're going to go back online now, and we're going to have Jeff, please.
Okay, this is relatively new. It's called I Want to Be a Pharisee. I want to be a Pharisee, stuffed with superiority, all shoving virtue in your face while smacking those who can't keep pace. And when I catch you at your worst, I'll see to it your life is cursed. I'll drain you of your dignity. I want to be a Pharisee. I want to be a Pharisee. I want it all to be about me, all preaching kindness, peace, and love, while flipping birds at God above. And when you make a small mistake, I'll burn you at my virtual stake to purge you down to purity. I want to be a Pharisee. I want to be a Pharisee, eternally seeking blasphemy, all praying loudly in the square to show the plebs how much I care. And when you act against my rules, I'll cast you out among the fools and bask in my conformity. I want to be a Pharisee. I want to be a Pharisee, well soaked in pure hypocrisy, all wearing goodness on my sleeve, while stripping those who don't believe of all their will to live. And when you tell me why I'm wrong again, I'll nail you high upon a tree. I want to be a Pharisee. So that was I Want to Be a Pharisee. And I was recently interviewed on the poetry podcast, The Poetic Robin Hood. So we'll look that up, January 1 episode. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Next one. Next we have Prince. Prince here. That's Phil. It's Phil's plan, but you've just written your name down with a symbol here. Phil.
I've always done that.
It's about time you've been called out now. Like Phil's plan.
He said us how to pronounce it.
Yeah. How do you pronounce this third part of your name, Phil?
It's my name.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. I have my own. I have two spellings for my name. I've done it for a while. Anyway, through my obsessions, I've gone from the motorway through the spiders to wind turbines, and now I'm back on the motorway again. And they finished the Dunkettle roundabout apparently, but I don't see any difference. But this is not finished, but the first part is drawn, but I want to work at the end. The Kalyak built the motorway. From welding bones and soldering frost, she jumped between hillock and lock, her tarmac scarf molted in her wake. She bandaged the plain between Tower and Skern, a golden green temple divided. Hooded in a veil in the darkness, I see her eyes, sharp and twinkling like cat eyes. Oh, I long to say sorry, to breed also. Sorry scarred her carpet. In my ascent back up to Mitchelstown, I offer her coins at the Fermoy bypass. It's gathered by swallows that build a nest on the toll plaza rafters. I see them in summertime, it gives me hope. Hope that sometime breed will return, roll up the motorway like a roll of tissue paper. Oh, gather all our tapestries in straws of rushes and build them into a trove of St. Bridget crosses, casting them into the polluted waters, returning everything back to green, 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 the green, the green, the green. I dream in green. If I close my eyes tight enough, I see the green.
Philip, is your name written in Vulcan or what is it?
No, another time.
Star Trek language.
Prince like stages all in the eyes of the beholder.
It's not logical enough to be Vulcan.
Well, you've bamboozled us anyway at OVL HQ, as you can see. But thanks a lot, Phil. It was absolutely unreal. Lovely to hear new work. Nice one. Sick. You can sign your name however you want. We'll do our best. Yeah. It's Yana. Is that how you pronounce it? Great. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
All right. The poem I'm going to read today is called The Butterfly Regime. All right. A human is not a butterfly, does not fold after one season, cannot be trapped in father's jar, nor fossilized behind glass, framed in our humid, huffing hallway, sinking out of time, a feather-white skeleton sweetly suffocates, a fly in gelatin. I too am not a butterfly, molded, father, by your gentle hand, face pinched into perfection by your smothering affection. I was a young girl, hardly 10, when your boots thudded, beetle black, your coat draped over my dreams at night, pinning me, dimming all light. I am not your butterfly, not your project, your paper-winged child. You're an old man, father, now 80, paralyzed in a chair far too small. Over you my wings loom tall. Red-handed, you're on trial. I'm wearing your gray, ill-suited smile. Today your boot is on my foot as I kick you black and blue. I am not your butterfly, I am you.
Nice one, Yana. Thank you. And next we're going to have Ben Burns, please. Oh, Ben has left the building. No, I don't think so. In true pop star fashion, boom, gone. Didn't even do the performance, left, gone. We're gonna have Patricia Walsh, so please, thank you.
As you know, St. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, so this is going to treat you a love poem, which I did a long time ago. It's called Indiscretion. Kiss me while the day still is. Now we surely follow, and then we won't know what to do with ourselves. Kiss me while I feel slightly awkward, enough to make you calm me through. Now we surely follow, and then the dark will thunder through faith and reason, enough to make us break ranks to our senses. Kiss me while there is light outside. I need to walk home, and the sodium lights don't offer quite the same protection. Now we surely follow, and then I'll be left with more than the thought of you. And when I rise, my heart will be full, to shining through the small hours, as it does in Norway, for I can never contain this consequence you will have for me. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Patricia. Listen. We'll have Michelle Delay.
Hi everybody. How are we? Thanks for all the poems. Really enjoying them. I found a fun new word. Psychopomp. Anybody? It's a guider between two worlds, like an Undertaker or Mr. Tumnus or etc. It's also a love poem, but me and Patricia didn't write these for each other, just in case. Even though Patricia, I will love to write you a love poem.
I won't argue with that.
Psychopomp, show me a man cut from cloth I've cried on, clutch, raven on my wrist, metaphor for metamorphosis, opaque palms pray for the kill, the ravishing, take off in my aerial view, give my city of cells something to adore and wish to. You haven't flown all weekend, dove. I see no defect in your wing. Brown-eyed blackbird, born to know where you are going, designed by wind to get there well. Everything's cast in purple and pink, violets and roses. I sense a mother growing old. Clear water for constantly blossoming, red dresses to swim in. Your love decorates everything. Thank you, Eva.
Excellent. We have Cedric Picant next, please.
Thank you. That title is definitely a working title. I'll probably go over this again. For now, serial killer. There are ghosts inside my head. I tend to an entire yard dedicated to bury those people I slaughtered. There are no bodies, no tomb to visit, for there are no dead, only their holes. They were not quite alive, in fact, but mere projections of my perception of them, sprung from the hollows. I ended them with a stab, a sharp edge in my heart. Then I walked in loving memory. I recall the first one, the only time I cried, behind the church when I saw her kiss him, timid yet eager. My first kill, this pink heart of mine dawned through. Let the sadness and envy bleed red. It has been easier ever since, with every stab. I have picked my poison and shared it happily with my future victims. Every time I walk down the boulevard, I go equipped with the tool of my sick experience. A tongue like a blade, a veau de dos, its pins, and a spade. Oh, a bottomless vial of anesthetic forgiveness, and a smile so sweet, so vile. The people haunt my days, vindictive, twisted, incomplete images pointing fingers, the woos, bitter, blaming me for not being better. I left anyway, slashed those lies masterfully, cut and scraped my feelings in the same movement. On to the next one. But lately, thought exercise, a vision has been exercising. A pair of sparkling rings, a slow, joyous strut down an aisle, a veiled threat of endless happiness, and the promise that either death, or one of us, or one of them, or one of me, might do us part with another stab all the way through the heart.
Excellent. Could we have Anton Floyd next, please?
This poem is called From the Eye of the Storm. And I just want to say that I lost my poetry virginity here many years ago. And I think it's probably appropriate that I should read a poem that I've never read in public before. And it's called From the Eye of the Storm, and it's a triptych, and it's in memory of André Lisowski. And just a word about André Lisowski, and I'm moved to read it because of the UCC students here, because I was brought back to my own student days in the early 1970s when Amnesty International had a campaign to write postcards to prisoners of conscience to remind them that they weren't unremembered. And André Lisowski was a poet from Bratislava, or from Silesia, who wrote in Lach, which is a minority language. And because he refused to write in Czech or any of the official languages, he is perceived as a separatist and consequently marginalized. In his life, he was championed by Boris Pasternak and brought to the attention of the West by W.H. Auden. And and Jonathan Cape brought out a selected poems, which we got hold of in the English department at Trinity when I was there. And so we organized readings. And I have a Palestinian family, and I just felt a resonance towards the idea of a marginalized community and his Silesia, and the fact that he couldn't write in his own language. And as a philologist, he single-handedly brought the language back into a literary language. So this is a poem in memory of him, and it's dedicated to Joseph Watson, who is Professor Emeritus at UCD, Celtic Studies, brought him to my attention. Motherland. Where are your garlanded sisters, decked in pink blossoms? The mountain springs gushing silver. Once it was just cattle and pigs, the tracks led from station to abattoir. On graves, the sun only squanders its light. Before, when your eyes opened, you wished for us the infinite blue of summer skies, the scent of mountain pines. Then a chill wind came to us, sealed our fate with numb fingers. One morning, you found only hunger, villagers standing round like stone boulders, like a birch-encircled pond in a silent trance. Exile. Dragonfly wings used to gleam as lucid glass. Each day was a book of beauty, each page singing to the wider world with fields, highways, mountains, soaring skies, horizons incandescent in the sun. When the mountains mustered their storm clouds and the moon rose bare-cheeked, emaciated, we learned how fear has hungry tentacles, how exile always treads the way of the cross. Our world became a cage with invisible bars. In weakened hands, fingers are sieves, for only the earth can hold these dark secrets. Abandoned villages stare like grieving widows. In empty granaries, the birds are mute. Bridges, epigraph from Rilke. It is spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart. Snow is still white in this black season. I've grieved for the shadows that haunt me. Her gentian eyes, her grim mouth probe still the conscience of the world. But do not grieve for me. In spite of all, it has not been a songless winter. The blackbird's spring notes summon a new day from a blood-red sun. Hill and forest will yet be stripped of mist, and sunflowers rise from blackened seeds. No bridge is equal to a changing season, except a mother's love. She seals the future with the burnt offerings of her heart, the only seal that never loses authority. Thank you very much.
And can we have Chris next, please? So just a little backstory of this. This is like when I was a diver, and this literally is just like kind of what I used to see under the water, and my experience with a barracuda. The realm beneath the waves. At 21, I first beheld its grace. The mundane world above did fade away, and Earth's familiar face I could no more trace. Within another realm, I found my place, a world of peace, of beauty unconfined, where bright hues dance and blend in a soft embrace. No creed, no hue of skin could one define. A sight so rare, it seems a dream design. Beneath the waves, I floated, gazing high. As I ascended, the sky above, so fine. The world above, a stranger to my eye, seemed more a dream than the depth's serene sign. Beneath me lay a shipwreck, time's own shrine. I ventured deeper to the ocean's heart. A barracuda with its shiny skin, through my dreadlock, it danced. Approaching close, where sea and spirit part, it gaze met mine, a momentary art, then turned away into the depth's vast chart. This was unreal, it was like a dream, but I assure you, I did not smoke any weed, nor did I take LSD. No substance, no substance could craft this realm beneath. It was a new world, a new truth, a new reality. This world is like no other, the realm beneath the waves. Nice one, Chris. Cheers, man. Next, we're going to have Seamus Harrington, please. Another man into his waves.
Thanks, Kieran. What an astronomical crowd here tonight. A misused word very often, but not in this case. Because following on with Chris, we stay in the nautical team, and there was a warning, Cork City and flood warning due to very high astronomical spring tides. Sounds like tautology, but not really. That was one reason. Another one is this weekend was the 200th anniversary of the birth of Samuel Plimsoll. He of the load line for ships, the Plimsoll line. You might even have a pair of shoes, Plimsolls, called rubber dollies around here. The Irish Times remembered it on Saturday as well, but I don't know if they remembered London Transport logo is also Plimsoll line. So this is the first time doing this poem here, this month, this week. The first hour past a tidal turn, it flows 1/12 we've come to learn. Along its way, direction one, sea urchins sigh in unison. The second hour, this rate will double, sea urchins play where castles wobble. The third hour then is 3 times first, a fourth one gives the same quick burst. Then 5 as 2 and 6 as 1, high time to turn its journey done. Resluicing shores from poles to tropics with springs and neaps by monthly topics. Perhaps some rhyme may swell our depth of knowledge so we're safely kept. Harmonic charts and daily tables, didactic clearly, they're not fables. Some local knowledge may deliver solutions to that saline river. With deep fin keel or boardless cat, you need to know just what you're at. At mid-tide ebb, survey your draft, yes, even on a shallow raft, or else you wait and sigh where nature's left you high and dry. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Seamus. Nice one. Can we have Jason next, please? JJ.
I'll try to keep this short. I know we're running out of time, but I just want to take a moment to say the talent level of the younger generation in this room. Let's give it up one more time. Seriously. I told a few of them outside, the younger generation is inspiring the older ones. There you go. I appreciate that. This poem is older, but there's enough new faces where I can get away with it. And it's dedicated to my sister because she's on my mind a lot. And she's going through a lot of life stuff right now. She's fine, she's healthy, but her life's changing a lot. And I can't really do anything over here because she lives in Texas. So I guess I'll do a poem and it'll go out in the universe. I don't know. This is called Diamond Shine. There's a line for crystal, maybe you can find it. Most are, for the most part, complacent. Look at their eyes, so vacant. They won't understand how to generate a genesis. They'll just want to stand somehow, art adjacent, seeing what leaks from the hands and heart of Jason. Because my name is Jason J. Fisher. All I want is to write with such insight, the words are considered scripture. Go out at night chasing the light to freeze stars which flicker in a picture. Because I was stressing, then guessing, now assessing that the absolute S thing is when it's all coalescing into the next thing, the correct thing. But back then, my thoughts were often scattered, lost within lots of plots, but without chapters, carefully considering how it all stops. And are there hereafters? Because right now, we are here. But what about after? What about after? And I find, if you find the time to mind your mind, then mine your mind. You'll find you can redesign your mind, refine your mind, and then compressed carbon hardens realigns into 100% pure, marvelous, unmitigated, crystalline diamond. Very, very quickly, sorry. I run a poetry music night called Pros and Woes. The next one is on Tuesday, March 5th, upstairs at the Liberty Bar. We got Dublin songwriters, we got German poets. It's €8. It's a Liberty Bar, March 5th. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Could we have Mary Jeanette next?
Oh God, Jesus! Sorry, I should have been prepared. I was just writing down the details. Okay. Sorry, jeez. No pressure. I gotta find it now. Sorry. If you could see what's going on my screen right now, you'd laugh too. I thought I wrote this relatively Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Does someone want to go in front of me while I find
Sure,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
No bother. No bother. No panic at all. We'll come back up in a second there. Is Fionn there? Fionn Rogan? Nice one.
Hi there. So for the week that's in it, I've got a love poem. It's a sonnet. It's not a serious poem. It's called I Tried to Write a Love Poem and all I got were these lousy questions. Why are there so many songs about love? Does it sound more convincing in French? Do long dormant feelings start flowing when we say it at random in a relationship? Is it a feeling or a doing word? Does it get up early, prepare breakfast in bed, a packed lunch and foil wrapped treat? Where is it most intense? The kitchen, bedroom, utility? Welling up at the porch before a long flight overseas? Should a poem ask so many questions? Are questions just the hots for sexy, steamy answers? Does this meet the standard of a love poem? Did you love it?
An amazing back.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
So I know we're under time pressure, so long story short, I was like, yeah, poetry, that's me. And then I was like, yeah, let's public this or post this publicly. And then I was like, no, that doesn't resonate with me. And then I kept having this like conflict and this block. And then I asked my friend to give me a prompt, and the prompt he gave me was chasing things that aren't real. And that's what this poem is based on. Familiar colours run in nostalgic lines across the skies as I reminisce about childhood. While I walk and avoid lines of concrete, I'm chasing the rainbow, hoping to grasp it within my fingers, run the gold between them, set on hunting what isn't real. As the darkness settles silently across the halls, I'll fall victim to childish suspicions. While I walk the stairs and sprint to victory's light, I'm running from monsters, hoping to narrowly escape their fingers, so I look behind me, set on hunting what isn't real. As the swings sing soothingly across the playground, memories of peace as a child formulates. While I walk the grounds and parents stare judgingly, I'm not giving a single fuck. Hoping to maintain that mental middle finger and forgo the responsibilities of adulthood, set on hunting what isn't real.
Thanks a lot. Nice one. And we're going to go back onto Zoom there now, and we're going to have Peter.
Hey everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So a while back I was mentioning to someone something I saw on YouTube that I found very striking, and it was a younger person, and they said, oh, if you really want to cringe, Peter, go on YouTube and look for failed parkour. So this poem is inspired by that. Failed urban parkour. So this is called The Edifice of Excellence. From humble excellence or unpretentious excellence comes adolescent excellence, some uncontested excellence, plus compartmental excellence, intercontinental excellence, transcendental excellence, condescended excellence, unrepentant excellence, pretentious excellence, obsessive excellence, wearable excellence, restless excellence, reckless excellence, or death, or parkour, or obsolesced paragons of humble excellence that arrogant parables couldn't surpass after good enough wasn't good enough and better wasn't better. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. can only imagine what the video content must be like. Could we get Becca next, please?
Hi. So this is a poem called Before You Decide, and I wrote it for Liz Quirk's class. Before you decide. We will go to the Costa for sticky toffee lattes instead of the 100 other independent coffee shops in this city. I will need anonymity for this endeavor that only photocopied furniture and a muffin melting chemical on the tongue can afford. We will sit at the booth in the corner, me on the bench, you in the chair. The first time you will have seen my face unmade will have been the morning prior when we awoke entangled in one another at I can't believe we slept till 11 o'clock. Before you make a choice, I will have done what I resolved to last night, give you the general idea, the vague shape of the girl you claim to like so very much. The outline. I have been through a lot. I am a bit of a mess. Please be gentle with me, and if you can't, no harm, no foul, feel free to run as fast as you possibly can. I will fill in the details as I go. You will hold my hands each in turn, one after the other, playing at the knuckles, rubbing the rings, round and round again. This will be unpretty. My start will not be the real beginning. I will ease you in. Off to the races with my tendency towards starving, which I've criminally downplayed. We'll begin at 19 with my Halloween curse and the time my heart missed potassium so deeply it skipped and then beat twice. An anomaly, they called it. What happens when you stick 2 fingers in the gape 6 times a day for as many months and spill. I will not tell you of the black ring in the toilet bowl, the tonsil stones and chipping teeth, but I'll tell you of the false molar nestled in the very back of my mouth. Fairy gift from father's insurance plan. Slipping from my purged years, we'll go back in time, back to 9. I'll joke that my original self was swapped for some fearful elfin child from a land far away, and this is why I cannot function properly in this world. You see, I was never meant for it. Amid the details of lying curled in closets, huffing the interiority of paper bags for mediating carbon dioxide, chewing Ativan, never timing it right to allow tablets to dissolve. But it's the encircling shape of those years. That's all you need to make the judgment call. Now to skim the list of loves and likes who have been lost to time and disaster. 2 promises broken, 1 ring I still wear, only because I haven't found some suitable silver replacement. On to why forests and orange feature so heavily in the poems I write, not that you will have yet read them. If further explanation is needed, I keep a couple on hand that illustrate me more than I ever could. Titles like The Plath Effect, The Reluctant Masochist, and Lady Lazarus thrown in there, not written my blood, but Sylvia and I are certainly soul sisters of a kind. I will gloss over the child I might have had and how I lied when I said I've not seen Deadpool. I sat through it, got fucked through it, left my body for the interim. I cannot tell you what happened, the players, the scenes, but I will tell you that I hate to be held from behind without warning. You will not yet get to know the way he grabbed my wrist to keep me from turning away, and when I said, "Don't you ever do that again," how he glared and got offended. Or of the woman I love beyond all reason, enough to learn Greek, to give myself over to a summer of conjugations and datives of no meaning. But I will tell you that I was the designated school slut, and everyone thought for many years that I managed to lose what I ought to have kept at a house party when I was still 13. Those nunnish years, you'll get them too, not in great detail. They're boring. How I made myself pine and fall away into grand discourse because it was easier than being seen. I'll admit the pain of the past year, porch-side rejection, half the reason I moved to Boston, flushed, and the trickle of water down the storm drain. I will give you enough, but not all. Confessional, but in my secret way, afraid to let the image fall away. You see, I like being liked. I barely knew the feeling in my youth. Cool girl, chill girl, down for everything, ready for anything, afraid to be left, but you'd never know it by how fast I can flee a scene. I've never found the false facade worth it. Can't keep an act going past a few stilted months. So before you decide, I will give you all the tools to go. And if not, well, you can't say I didn't warn you of all that you were getting into. I can orchestrate it out just as well.
Next, we're going to have Alexandra, please.
So it was this month, a year ago to be exact, that I first stood here for my first open mic. And I really hate public speaking, but the support that I got from everyone in this room and everyone who is usually here but not here today motivated me to keep coming back, everyone. So thank you to everyone. So this poem is called The Illusion of Time. What is time? I sometimes wonder. But if I ask this question from others, our answers would differ. That is the uniqueness of time. For time holds a different meaning to everyone. To me, time is an illusion, a fake reality, where a minute could feel like a second or feel like a lifetime. Our timelines is divided, past, present, future, a dimension of interconnected time zones. For each person's time zone travels at different speed and meet at different refractions. For I could be someone's past, but could mean someone else's whole future. But the present, what an underrated period. Others want to skip to the future's mysteries, while others wish for their past to return to them. I want this illusion of time to slow down. I wish I could pull the reins, to tell the present to stop galloping to the future, but to walk through the images of the present without any rush. Even if you ask it to, life does not slow down. Even if we slow down the clock, where every passing minute is switched to an hour, the time on the clock would slow down, but the present would not. This is an illusion, the illusion of time. Thank
Nice one, Alexandra. Fair play. And it's great, yeah, fair play. A year into the old writing game or performing at the open mic anyway, fair play. Nice one, great to hear your work. And we're gonna go back online now. I'm gonna have Massimo dialing in.
Always a huge honor to be here. How can I just be relaxed and aware? I can no more master my thoughts than I can master the air. Master the globe? No, master my square. As though one atmos can impact the whole sphere. Waiting until I'm perfect before all can align. But who says flaws are a flaw in the design? I feel the architecture in the arch of my spine. To see life is more like a link of many parts than just a line. A part of me knows that the whole is a part of me. I believe this heartfeltly, but feel it only partly. I'd love to believe in a world designed with harmony, where no atom is scattered without being patterned artfully. But when life becomes hard, its artistry is hard to see. In a world I've been hurt by, that's also been harmed by me. I cannot move mountains, and the seas won't part from me. It's like the unknown is guarding me from wandering too far from me. Always such a huge honor to be here. Thank you all so much. Peace.
Thanks a lot, Massimo. I tell my girl to leave me alone, and then I wonder where she's gone. My way is clear, I throw the first stone. On my own, I feel at home, and so I scream that I'm important into the void. It keeps me warm, it brings me joy. I eat, sleep, and play with my toys. Life's so easy when you're a boy.
I tell my friends I must be gone, and they wonder for how long. If I don't answer, I can't be wrong. I've never met a singing swan. I just scream that I'm important into the void. It keeps me warm, it brings me joy. I eat, sleep, and play with my toys. Life's so easy when you're a boy. Life's a picture under my thumb. It moves in sequence but stops as one. Relieved by many, relived by some. Tell me again how the end's begun. I'm tired of waiting but sick of speed. Picture of patience and a relic of need. A touched base and a party to please. Such waste of relative ease. Nice one. Cheers. We're nearly there now. It's been an absolutely whopper open mic, and there's 31 names between the 27. There's a 28 on this list, and there's 3 online. So there's gonna be 4. There's gonna be 32 people on this open mic. So we're nearly there now. But I admire your dedication to the open mic, folks, and your well primed ears for listening. Fair play for the concentration. Joseph is next. Please.
Right, so this is a poem about my experience growing up as somebody with autism, and it's kind of like a lot to do with the human condition as well. I think it's quite nice, but anyway. So, I was just a kid when into my mind I hid. My brain wired in a different way, the norm from which I did constantly stray. A thirst for knowledge, always curious. My grasp on reality, teetering on spurious. Constantly judged by those around me, when all I wanted was warmth to surround me. Staring eyes, thinly veiled lies. A mind with such potential, accompanied by no credential. I walk through life half blind. My only purpose, it seems, is to be kind. But I crave more. Things I loved, I no longer adore. Too aware, as I despair, of what I could be, what I should be. Lamenting how I'm nothing like the others. And yet, didn't we all cry for our mothers? We all struggle against death, fearing our final breath. But what does it all mean? In a universe so pristine, to cause our minds to fill with doubt, we continue to clamor and shout, I proclaim, I am here and I am real. I can think, therefore I can feel. But the universe looks on indifferent. Our Lord above us, no longer deliverant. Instead, sending us atrocities to bear, seemingly to test if we still care. Clearly God has left my life. To me, I experienced naught but strife. Lowered to things so demeaning, searching for meaning, lowered to things so demeaning that sentient life should not endure in a universe that is supposedly pure. Our minds are a blessing and a curse. To be aware, I can think of nothing worse. Thank you.
Cheers. We go to Mags next? Yeah, we're gonna go. There's just 3 people left, and we're gonna hear from Mags Creedon next. Through Zoom. So Mags, if you're ready there.
Right. I actually was observing and drawing. I was very moved by the girl earlier who spoke about her
partner who has passed away. I kind of thought I'd sing this one for her. It's short. And I'll just do a little tiny bit of someone is missing in the night. Someone is swearing by pale candlelight and hoping to see her soon, but she may not appear as he wishes her to be. Someone is putting on the gear, checking the sat-nav title charts this quarter year. He won't see home for the morning, handing over to comrades each hazard, each warning. Someone is rowing and bobbing on the lee. Navels with fairy lights, dragon boats light up the night. Brave men and women who circle 'neath the stars in a journey of remembrance, in a solemn moonlight dance. Someone is missing in the night, but many hearts to carry, peaceful hearts, silent lips, and bring some back home from their blue cleave-on to slumber with Mother Earth once more. Someone. So's Miss Shiri Lat.
Give me a round of applause. Round of applause. Jamila, good to see you.
Thank you.
Hot Mags. Hot Mags, go on. Can we get
God bless her.
Can we get Cathal Holden next, please?
Hey guys, how are we all doing? Fantastic night. The quality, the young writers from UCC, amazing. Fucking hell. My favorite was the vegetable poem guy. Fuck yeah. I ain't been writing much lately, but I have got some fragments scattered around, and here is one of those fragments. I lost everything that mattered, so I started again. It didn't even matter, and I had to pretend. Every day brings a circus, so tragic and irrelevant. I go down memory lane to feed the world's saddest elephant. Memories of all the little things you did for me. Roshi.
Give me the call. Well done. To finish the open mic for us tonight, we have our own Rosie O'Regan.
I apologise because I'm going to bring the circus to what was a really lovely movie night, because this isn't that. This is the 5-word poem, and I guess I've been in a funny, not a great place, and so I'm just embracing being playful again, and the right to fail and to offend, because I probably will offend a few of you. I've walked this boolyard my whole life. Excuse me? Boulevard. Excuse you. My whole life, this boolyard. That block of stone. Ghost church. Empty Sunday to Sunday. Set for the pigeons. And me sometimes. Draped in me pink blankie. I dance on the altar. And I'll tell you something for nothing. I think Mary quite liked sex. She was never meant to be blue.
Well, Rosie. yeah. Fair play. Perfect way to end end a great evening. Yeah, lads, fair play to you. Really, like, what a pleasure, honestly, to share that with you there. It was great. Thank you again to all our creative writers in UCC who came down to read for us. It was really beautiful reading. Thanks a lot. Thank you to the Long Valley for having us, and to Alexander. Thanks. Thank you to the big long list of 5-word challenge participants, and the really long open mic list as well, and to everybody joining us on Zoom. We're going to go over to Mains there for a pint and a bit of a decompression, I think. But fair play to you all, yeah, unreal, beautiful, thanks a lot, cheers.
Hi, Max. Hi, Max.
I loved Whisper tonight and the flapsticks, and it was incredible. I love that character that you have, Whisper. That just I might actually play it back and film it for my sister's class. I really loved it. And you're crafting it, all the pleasure, all to refined all the time. Bye, sweetheart.
Super.